Now.
Okay, we're recording.
All right, I'm going to record it straight to my computer too. Okay, well, it's so good to see you, Kimberly. It's evening.
We haven't done this in such a long time. We should have done this forever ago. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, we just both are so busy though with our families and, you know, helping people, all the stuff that we're doing and other videos that we're going on.
Yeah, yeah. And you've been interviewing a lot of really interesting people.
Yeah, I've been interviewing some interesting people. Definitely the last one, Maria Bernardis, that was awesome. I got a lot of really positive feedback on that. It always cracks me up when I get a whole bunch of thumbs downs on the video. Like I'll get 8. Like there was one video I did that was a really positive topic that there's no way anybody could not like it, and I got like 18 thumbs down. I'm like, those are all paid trolls or something, because it was some helpful video. It was just helpful information. It wasn't even like a conspiracy theory video or anything. I mean, it was just all helpful information. It was a positive message. It was like an uplifting message. I think it was the one Archangel Michael's message about victory is going to happen, you know, that we're having a victory, and it was all positive. And I got like 18 thumbs down. So we're all of us truthers, whatever people, we're all being attacked by these trolls, to the point that one of my friends, very good friend, Miriam, who's a remote viewer, she had quantum RV. She had to quit doing what she was doing because she was being attacked so much. It was making her sick.
Wow.
So, yeah. So she had to stop. She was just being attacked, and it was wearing her down and making her tired. The people on YouTube are so mean and hateful, some of them, to the people who are here. I mean, you and I are giving up our free time. I could be sitting on the couch enjoying, you know, a historical show with my family right now. You know, my family is sitting on the couch watching like either a mystery or a historical show that's real interesting, like an archaeology show or something. And I could be doing that. And instead I'm on here with you, because we're going to be providing information to everybody right now that will help them with their ascension. And so I give up my free time, and so do you, to come on to YouTube all the time to help people. I don't get paid a dime. I don't get checks from YouTube. They always wind up demonetizing me and taking away, you know, they don't pay me any money because they don't like that I'm sharing the truth. So I don't get money for this. This is my free time. And so people like Miriam are quitting. They're like they're like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. You know, I've heard several people say this to me, that they're just done. They can't be on YouTube because they keep getting attacked and attacked and attacked, and it's just wearing them down.
Well, that's really too bad. Because like you said, I mean, we're here just because we want people to understand what's available for them. We're trying to help the ascension along, trying to help people process what's been going on in the world right now. Yeah. I could be downstairs playing a video game with my son.
Right.
But I'm here. It's 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday night.
It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. I could be reading a book right now. There's so many things I could do. And the reason we picked this time is because you and I are both so busy. You know, we go all week long, and I'm doing women's groups, and I'm creating more classes. I just finished creating my meditation basics class, you know, that I'm going to be launching in December. And, you know, I'm busy trying to teach people and help people 24/7. And then we get these weirdos that come on there and either make rude comments or they do thumbs down. And it's like, seriously, my feeling is these people don't have a life.
Right.
They must not have a life. You know, if you're so busy that if your life is so boring that all you have to do is chase after people like me and my friend Miriam and Victoria here, and harass us and put rude comments or give us thumbs down, I mean, I feel really sorry for you. That's all I have to say. You know,
I even saw that with Laura Eisenhower a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
they've been about how rude and mean
they're attacking her, horribly attacking her.
And it's just astounding to me. I don't think people realize. I mean, we're trying to create an environment where everybody wins, right? We're trying to create this new earth, which is loving and delightful and so like heaven on earth. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Right. That's the world we're trying to create. We won't be able to create it as long as we are attacking each other. It's impossible. And I don't know if people get that what they're doing is actually the opposite of what they say they want.
Yeah.
So you have people in that, and I don't do community. I never have. I don't consider myself part of the truther community because
Mhm.
there's just as much deception in there as there is truth.
I don't
I don't
consider
belong to a
myself
religious
that
community
either.
because there's just as much deception in
Yeah.
there as there is truth.
No.
I don't do labels. And
Yeah.
it's really frustrated. People in the spiritual community are attacking people in the truther community, and people in the truther community are attacking people in the spiritual community. And they don't understand that by sending out those kind of seeing like shards of glass, by sending out those shards to people, they're actually defeating their own intent of wanting to create a better world.
Well, they're blocking their
down their own process. They're blocking their own process.
They're blocking their ascension big time.
Yeah, they're blocking their ascension by shooting down other people.
Yeah, and I don't call myself a truther either. And I never was a truther. I'm just a spiritual teacher. I mean, everything I do is I'm a healer and I'm a spiritual teacher. That's it. I mean, that's what I do. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And, I mean, that's it. But I mean, I stand in my truth all the time, and I share, what I consider my truth. It may not be true for other people. It's my truth. But I'm not a truther. Like, I'm not out there like Michael Jaco and some of these people going on and on about what are all the political things and the things with the quantum financial system and the RV and the this and the that. And, I'm not into, that's not my thing. I don't know anything about that. I'm an expert on our ascension, what's going on the earth right now, which is why I read a whole guidebook, and you did too. Both of us, we both wrote guidebooks for ascension, and that's our thing. That's what we're focusing on. But these people are so hateful that it's forcing really loving, amazing people to quit helping people. Like, they're stopping helping people because they're humans and they have feelings and they have a breaking point. It gets to a point where they're enough is enough. They can't take it anymore. They can't take all the hate, and then they're quitting, and that's ruining it for all of us, because some of these people like Miriam are have so much to share. They're so loving and so wonderful and so beautiful. They're such beautiful souls, and they have so much to share with everyone. And all these people are blocking all that. They're blocking it and causing trouble. They're ruining it for everyone on the planet by doing this behavior.
Yeah, because every person's energy feeds into the collective energy. So
yeah,
they're actually slowing down the ascension process by doing that.
Yeah, for everyone.
And I was just thinking, so you have these people who, the complaint 6 months ago, a year ago, was that, the place that we host these videos is pulling people off,
Yeah.
And so we ran into that, and now it's the viewers themselves that are knocking people off.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then where will people go when they want to know what's going on in the world on a spiritual level, if they're bashing the very people that are here to help them?
Yeah, I feel terrible for them. And I mean, I just ignore it, and I just feel sorry for them. I forgive them, kind of like Yeshua said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. I consider that they're just a baby soul, apparently, because somebody who's a really old soul would know better.
Right.
So they're a baby soul, they're like a kindergartner. So I excuse them for acting like a little douchebag kindergartner. That's fine if they want to do that. It's like, and I like to use this analogy all the time, because Yeshua told me this a while back when I was having issues. He said, you need to consider them like you're at a park, and you and your friends are like high school students or college students, and you're throwing a football back and forth, and this little toddler wanders into the middle of your game and gets in the way. And it's like they're a little toddler, and you just move them aside and you forgive them, because they don't know what they don't know any better. Right. And so the high school kids are the old souls, and the little toddlers are the little newbies. And they do stupid shit, excuse my language, all the time. They're just constantly doing stupid stuff, like attacking people that are here to help them. Like, I'm here to help everybody who's watching this. If you're watching this, I'm doing this because I love you and I want to help you. I love everybody on this planet. I love all the people. I love all the animals. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on the couch with my family watching a fun movie, and Victoria would be playing with her son. You know, we'd be hanging with our families. We don't have to be here. We're here for you because we are here to do the service for the earth and to help all of you. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, you know, we were talking about that, the visual of the little child on the playground.
Yeah.
And what I was sensing, and this is one thing for the rest of us to keep in mind, that we may be more advanced souls. And, you know, we this isn't that we're better than anybody else. It's simply that we're just older. So
yeah, we're not better than them. We're just further along on the journey. That's all.
And it is also about teaching these children what is appropriate behavior for their own. So for if we are, for example, older kids and we're playing ball on the field, it's possible for a child, a small child, to get hit with the ball.
Right.
So it's like, hey, this is the best behavior. Why don't you go over here where it's better for you?
It's safe.
Yeah, where it's safe and where it's better for you. And, you know, and I'm being reminded of a time when my daughter, you know how kids are little, and she'd walk in front of the swing, and I kept saying, if you walk in front of somebody on the swing,
get hit. You're gonna get knocked down. My kids have actually done that.
She did it. She didn't listen to me, and one time she walked in front of another kid and she got knocked down. And that was the last time she did that. She was like, you know what? Got it. She didn't walk in front of the swings anymore.
My daughter did the same thing.
Right, same kind of thing. It's like we can tell people, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, but they kind of have to learn for themselves. So there are a lot of people out there who are feeding the division and feeding the againstness, and they just don't get it yet. Yeah. And so what we're trying to do is let people know this is actually not for your own good to be doing.
Yeah, it's harmful they're harming themselves. They don't understand that they're actually creating such bad karma. When you lash out at somebody who's a good person and you attack them like that, you are creating such horribly bad karma for yourself. If I were to just go around and just attack my neighbors, or just, you know, go around and swear at them for no reason at all, or go up to them and tell them that they're stupid and horrible and berate them, I mean, that's just bad karma. You can't do that. You can't go on to somebody, you know, and they're coming on my page onto my comments, you know, and I mean, I what do you want to call it? I don't allow people to just post comments. I go through and I check the comments first, but you should see the hateful stuff that never makes it on my page because I block and delete it before it can make it there. Horrible things. These people don't even know me, and they're judging me and saying terrible, terrible things about me when they don't even know me. They don't even know what I'm going through, right? You know, in my life. They don't know the fact that, you know, my whole life has been really, really difficult. Really, really awful and difficult. It's a miracle I'm here right now. And they have no idea what I go through and how I've dedicated my entire life since I was a baby to being nice to people and help people, but yet they're attacking me, you know, and it's just, it's ridiculous because they are hurting themselves. They are hurting themselves. And I don't feel like I'm any better than these people. It's just that I'm on a different path than they're on. Right. You know, I'm just on a different path.
But I think it's important to understand that they aren't as evolved as they think they are.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people out there that think that they're awake. But we've had this conversation before about the difference between being aware of the corruption that's going on in the world and being spiritually awake.
Being spiritually awake, and because there's two types of awake. There's political awakeness is what I say. I call it political, but that and also involves finances and everything going on in the world. So worldly awake versus spiritual awakeness. Right. Those are two totally different things.
Yeah. And some people are spiritually awake and not aware of the corruption that's been going on in the world. And some people are aware of the corruption that's going on in the world, but they're not spiritually awake. And the two groups that are not, and there are some of us, this is actually I posted this on Facebook a few days ago. There are some of us that are both awake, spiritually awake, and aware of what's going on in the world. And then there are a whole bunch of people that are neither one. They're completely unaware, and they're perfectly content not being aware of anything. That is, I think, the majority of humanity. Yeah, is currently awake and aware. But so the people that are in the division, right? I'm awake but not aware, and I'm aware but not awake. They tend to go at each
They're
other.
going at each other.
And
Exactly.
creating more of the division and that I think is intentional because as I was saying a few days ago, we the people need to get together with we are the ones we've been waiting for. So the spiritual community has known for years, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
We are the return of Christ consciousness.
We are the return of Christ consciousness. And then you have the patriot community that says, we the people. They're not on opposing ends, but the controlled narrative has these two groups believing they're on opposite ends.
Yeah.
And we have to stop feeding that division and saying, look, we're actually not divided. We want exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's the whole cabal divide and conquer policy they've been following for thousands of years. They've been following
and so the division is intentional to keep us from uniting. And the other thing too is all these conversations that people are having that are causing them to get throw daggers at you. For example, I'm seeing the daggers again. Those are all conversations that are actually sidetracks. They're actually intended to sidetrack us from our whole purpose. And they're just ridiculous. Some of the stuff that people are getting really upset about. Yeah. Completely absurd.
It's all psyops from the 3-letter organizations too. Yeah. There's like so many psyops out there, like people attacking me about a certain thing that has to do with planet Earth. And, I'm not going to go there right now, but you know what I'm talking about.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
But the fact of the matter,
they're all just to keep people sidetracked.
Yeah, it's all to keep everybody
and
separated.
Not focused. Yeah.
It's like, who cares about whether Earth is round, flat, this or that? I don't really give a flying leap, honestly, what the shape of the planet is. I really don't. I don't care.
I agree.
You could tell me it was triangled and I'm going to say, so who cares? How does that affect my life? And people need to, Victoria, this is the way I look at everything in life. When I'm given information, and this is something I put in my stress management book, this has a lot to do with why people are so stressed out on the planet, is people have ideas and info that comes into their mind, and immediately they go down this rabbit hole of, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Instead, what you need to do is you need to ask a question when the information is presented to you. Like, let's say it's a theory, one of these 3-letter organization theories. They present a theory like the shape of the planet. The first question you need to ask is not about what is the real shape of the planet. You should be asking the question, how does this impact my personal life today? What is this doing to my family? What is this doing to my everyday living? How I'm enjoying my life, what my happiness level is. How is that impacting me? And if the answer is not at all, nothing, then move the frick on, for heaven's sakes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because it's just a distraction.
It's a distraction to take you off.
Work.
Yeah, it gets rid of your happiness, because your purpose, and I talked about that in my Ascension book, Ascension 101, is your main purpose of your soul is to just be happy, to be joyful and happy, and to do things every day that fill your life with joy and happiness. If you're sitting there and worrying about the shape of the planet and freaking out about whether or not the moon landing was real, like my son approached me today with this whole conspiracy theory of people flipping out about the moon landing never happened and it was done on a Hollywood set. Who gives a flying frick about it? I don't. How does that help me? How does that help me with my ascension? Oh, and then the people going on and on and on about the NASA organization, which we know that they're evil. Okay. We know they're evil. We know they're bad, but stop focusing on it. They're focusing on all these things, and they're all being sidetracked off of their ascension.
That's it, exactly.
Every time they're focusing on all of these freaking conspiracy or not conspiracy, whether it's truth or not, I don't know. And it doesn't really matter. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say I don't know. I do know psychically, but I'm not going to share that information because I don't need to be attacked. What I need to do is help everybody. And so does Victoria. We need to help you all to ascend. So we're not going to focus on this crap. We're just not going to do it.
But I think what happens though is that people allow that to kind of almost become obsessed with it.
Runs their life. It's running their life.
It runs their life, and then they attack anyone who doesn't agree with them, and they don't even know that all of that information, all those, like, it's the sidetracks again. Like here's the track to ascension, and all those other those other subjects are like little detours. They don't even know they've been detoured. So there's all these people who are off here in the detours rather than being focused on the ascension process.
Yeah, it's like a dog with
and they're all fighting. It's so funny. I'm seeing like people throwing rocks at each other over, no, my theory is right and yours. Seriously, people, stop fighting about this stupid, ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Are intended to keep us divided and keep us fighting amongst ourselves, and focus on the goal at hand.
Yeah, they're all stories. They're all stories. It's kind of like people who take a victim status and go on and on and on for 500 years about how when they were a kid, this terrible thing happened, and they that's their story the rest of their life. It's like, move the hell on. Have you not cleared it or healed it? I mean, we're all here. Part of the ascension is doing your shadow work, healing your trauma, healing your childhood trauma, doing all that and moving on. Stop being a victim and sharing the same story over and over and over, the poor me story or the this or that. All of these things are blocking your ascension. Fighting with people over topics. It's like a dog. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. That's what all of these little distractions are. Like, Michael Jackson's alive. No, Michael Jackson's dead. Michael Jackson was a pedo. No, he wasn't a pedo. He was a good little boy. No. Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah. How is Michael Jackson going to change your life tomorrow? So if let's say he's alive, okay, which I think he is, but who cares? Let's say he is. How is his coming back going to pay your bills, put food on your table, make love to your spouse or whatever? I mean, how is that going to help you? How's that going to help you to lose weight? How's that going to help you to heal your cancer? How's that going to help you to raise your children properly? What impact does this really have on your life? Honestly, ask yourself. And if it doesn't have any, why are you wasting precious time? My brother just passed away 2 weeks ago, and I'm horribly grieving over it right now. I mean, I'm just besides myself over this whole thing. He's my only sibling, my baby brother, 6. You should never have to bury your 6 years younger baby brother. Okay. It shouldn't be a thing. I'm really mad at the planet right now. But the fact of the matter is I'm going to move on. It's an experience, and I'm not going to get sidetracked with this and that and the other thing, because what is important right now is I'm alive right now, and I need to focus on how do I get through each day of my life and how do I ascend, and that's what the focus needs to be on.
Right. And all this other stuff is just minutia.
Yeah.
And it's a complete time waster, as you were saying.
It's a total time waster, because losing my brother is just another reminder to me of how little time I have on this planet. Okay. Every time I lose a family, my whole family's gone now. I lost all my grandparents. I lost all my cousins that I really loved. I lost all my aunts and uncles I really loved. I lost my mom and dad, 16 and 15 years ago, and now my brother. So my whole family, except for my husband and my kids, that's it. Okay.
Right.
My time is short. My life on earth, I don't know how much time I have no clue about that, but it's not a long time, because none of us have a long time here in this physical body. So I need to make every moment count. And I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that I'm filling each day with love, with happiness, that I'm telling my family how much I love them every day. And I'm telling my cat how much I love my cat, and I'm petting him, and I'm enjoying my life and living my life to the fullest, and creating that joy and that happiness and working towards my ascension. That is all that matters. All this other stuff is just a bunch of shit garbage that's ruining people's lives. That's all it's doing. It's just ruining lives.
Absolutely. And all it's doing is keeping people, like you're saying, it's keeping people fighting amongst themselves. It's keeping people from focusing on what's really important. And it's not just a drain of time, it's a drain of energy. And I don't think people understand how valuable their energy is, their focused energy. So the more, again, this comes back to raising our vibration, right? The higher we raise our vibration individually, the faster the whole of humanity is lifted up. So every single person who is down here in anger and againstness and these stupid minutia conversations, they're actually holding the vibration down for the entire collective of humanity. We've got to stop doing that. Just all that other stuff that is irrelevant, it's irrelevant. we have to get together and start focusing on what are we going to do to make the world a better place. None of that other stuff has anything to do with making the world a better place.
No.
At all.
Not at all. And then we were talking, you and I have had several conversations about the savior complex. Everybody has this, Trump is the savior, and JFK Jr. is the savior, and Michael Jackson's the savior, and Princess Diana is going to come back and be the savior. It's like, seriously, we are here to save ourselves. Alina Denon has said this on her channel over and over and over again, that we are here. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Just like you said, we are here to stand up. We have to stand up and take back our planet. Nobody's coming here to save our ass.
That's
okay?
right.
Nobody's coming here to save us. Okay. There are benevolent ETs that they're assisting, but they're not going to come onto the Earth's surface and save the situation on the Earth's surface. They're cleaning up the space disaster out there that's going on out there with the evil, with the bad, ETs. And that's fine. We are here on the planet, and we're the ones that are fully responsible for this mess we made. We're the ones who trashed our oceans and waterways and lakes and rivers and streams with garbage and sewage, and cruise ships dumping crap into the ocean, and humans dumping all their crap into the ocean and into the rivers and lakes and streams. We're the ones who chopped down all of the forests and rainforests. We're the ones who have destroyed all of Mother Nature. I mean, we've decimated, we've driven almost all the animals, into extinction. We're the ones who created a huge disaster on this planet. Nobody is going to come and save us. We need to stand up, and we need to save ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that's actually what the return of Christ is the return of Christ consciousness through us.
Yeah.
And it's not about Jesus showing up in a cloud of smoke or whatever and coming and saving everybody. It's us. It's in every one of us. And the same thing we're talking about, the resurrection. The resurrection isn't a zombie apocalypse. I mean,
no,
that's always like, there's going to be dead people everywhere.
No, that's not going to happen.
It's about the resurrection of love. It's the resurrection of the
divine
heart,
feminine,
right? And the divine feminine. It's not about dead people coming up out of the ground, and which, I find it interesting that the CDC has a thing for a zombie apocalypse, which I actually find really interesting, but that's not what it is. And that this is about us. People keep expecting a president or a government to
save you, and they're not going
nobody's going to save us. It is up to us. If it is to be, it is up to me. Now, and I have a thing above my computer that says one of the mantras I live my life by, and that is divine love through me makes all things possible.
Right.
It's through us that everything changes. Our reality changes because we take responsibility for, one, accepting responsibility that we helped make all of us helped to make the mess. Now there are certain individuals and corporations that were ultimately responsible for it.
Right.
And that need to be held financially accountable.
They need to be held accountable. Absolutely.
We all helped make that mess by contributing to it.
Yeah. We bought all of the goods.
By buying their products. Right. So
yeah.
This is about us cleaning up the mess we helped to make and leaving the world a better place than we found it. And it's about and accepting that some of the stuff is real. Like there are people who still don't think that there's anything wrong with the climate, or that
there is. We've evaded in that.
Are you just not paying attention?
Yeah, I mean, there is climate change. So the one thing I will say is throughout history, there's cyclical changes on the planet. Okay, so the Earth heats up and cools down and heats up. There's cyclical changes that you can trace all the way back to the beginning. But the stuff going on nowadays that has happened since the Industrial Revolution has pushed it to an extreme. Okay.
Absolutely. But there are people who are saying that climate change isn't real. And
they're in total denial.
Get your head out of the sand.
It's totally real. It's totally
we
real.
have made a mess of the planet, and we got to clean it up.
People don't want to be responsible for the fact that they go on the beach and throw trash everywhere. And, they're, and they use their cars that burn up all the fuel. And then we're eating too many cows on the planet. And the cow, apparently my daughter did research into this. And she said that if people would just stop eating beef and drinking milk, if they got rid of like all the cows, just the methane alone from all those cows, getting rid of them would decrease a lot of the problems.
But I don't even think it's that even so much. It's because we chopped all the trees down.
Because they were creating oxygen.
The trees actually clean the methane.
Yeah, they're a clean.
And the problem is that we cut down all the trees to make room for
rainforests,
right? Yep. Mm-hmm. So it's not just one. Even if we did have all the cows, we would still need to replant the trees.
There's multiple problems involved here. It's like a multi-layer approach, and there's many levels of problems that aided and abetted in this whole thing. And nobody can point a finger and blame and say, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, because it's a whole circle of things. It's a whole like cauldron. Like imagine a big black witch's cauldron, and the cabal is filling it up with all their lovely big corporate, big pharma, big this, big that, big oil, chopping down rainforests, on and on and on and on.
Big agriculture.
Big agriculture, all of the cow farms and, this, I mean, it's a huge cauldron filled to the top with stuff that's causing it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And there isn't just one thing. And here's the frustration that the money is available to be able to fix all that. Mm-hmm. And my thing the last couple of weeks is, you have all these billionaires and bureaucrats who want to make the masses of humanity responsible for cleaning up the mess they made.
Yeah.
They
got rich off of it. They got rich of it.
They have so much money that if it really meant that much to them, they'd be able to fix it.
It doesn't though. That's the thing. They don't really care.
It doesn't. That's why I've been saying, I'm like, I am so over them spouting off their lip service. If it actually meant something to them, they would actually do something about it.
Yeah, they don't care.
They've got the money to do something about it, but they don't really want to. They just, it's like, and just like, you know what? Do you put your money where your mouth is, or shut the hell up? Because I'm done with the whitewashing and the greenwashing and the brainwashing and the woke washing. I'm like, I'm done with all that.
Yeah. I'm done with all the billionaires who they only worship money and they don't really care about the earth at all, because if they did, they could solve the problem in one meeting. If you got every billionaire together to take all their money and pull it together to clean up the earth, it would be bim bam really fast.
They don't really care. It's just wah, 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 wah. Yeah. It's like the teacher in Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah,
right.
Wah, wah. Like, I don't believe a word you people. And you know what? So fine. We'll just clean up the mess ourselves, because they're just all talk and no action. And then they don't intend to do any action because they make so much money off of it.
Right. Well, I heard that the ETs have some sort of devices that can clean up the oceans pretty much immediately, but that they are not giving them to us because they say we need to be accountable for our own messes and clean them up ourselves.
Yeah, well, they'll help us. I was actually shown that 2 years ago. So I think I told you that Ezekiel showed up in my field a couple of years ago. He came here with his spaceship, and he was showing me that they have the technology to be able to just basically vaporize an entire skyscraper, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. To just disappear. But what he said to me is, he said, cleanup will be a snap. Mm-hmm. But because you guys help make the mess, you have to help clean up.
You have to help clean it up. We need to do the work.
They'll help us, but we have to start the process.
Yeah.
Right.
It's accountability. It's accountability and responsibility.
And they'll help us.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do it for us.
Yeah, because we need to be stewards for our own planet. This is our planet, not their planet. If somebody came here from the Pleiades with devices, this isn't their planet. Their planet is whatever, Era or whatever it is. I can't remember the name of their planet that a lot of them come from. But they have their planet that they come from, and that's their responsibility. Earth is our responsibility. We need to take responsibility for it.
Right. So and if we my impression is that if we do, it's funny because the visual I was getting with that was, the scene from Mary Poppins, clean up as a snap. They're walking around and just like all the clothes put themselves away. It's that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Once we get the forward momentum going, cleanup will be a snap.
Mhm.
But it's kind of, I'm being reminded of that old saying of God helps those who help themselves. It's that same kind of thing. Once we get the forward momentum going, we'll get some assistance with these amazing technologies to help us.
Yeah.
But they're not going to come in and intervene on
We
our
have to
behalf.
show our
We have to
effort.
do it.
We have to show some effort. They will. So what I got, this is what I got downloaded to me, was that once humanity steps up to the plate and takes responsibility for our own trouble that we've created for ourselves, and we start putting in some effort, they will step in and they will assist us, but we have to make the first move and we have to put in the effort first.
Absolutely.
I got that a long time ago, that is what they'll do. They're not horrible, heartless, creatures that don't care about us. They really want to help us. It's just that the ascension is all about accountability and responsibility. Okay. We're not going to be these little baby souls anymore in the 3D that, fear-based little baby souls. When you're stepping into the love 5D frequency, it means that you are always standing in the truth. You're always accountable for your behavior. You're responsible for yourself and your, whatever your family, whatever's important to you, you have responsibility. That's all part of ascension. You can't ascend the planet if nobody's willing to step up to the plate and own their crap.
Absolutely.
They need to do it. They need to do it. Your kitties running around in the background.
Yeah. This is my link.
My daughter has my kitty right now, so.
Yeah, he likes to be here when I'm, yeah, there he is. He likes to be here when I'm here. Yeah, and that's really it, is that we have to, again, going back to the savior complex, there are some people who think, oh, well, the Pleiadians are going to come in and save us. So
no,
it's always something else, right?
It's always somebody's going to save us.
Somebody else is going to come and save us.
Yeah,
and,
they're not.
We're it. No one can save us but ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's that it really comes down to, it's funny because we were saying years ago, we're the ones we've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. And in about the last 6 months, it started to become really clear, you know what? We really are the ones we've been waiting for.
Yes, we are.
We're the ones that are going to build new systems. We're the ones that are going to build new business concepts. We're the ones that are going to build new communities. We're the ones that are going to build new industries. We're building new education concepts. Yeah. We are the ones that are creating it.
Environmentally friendly cities as well. Like the cities aren't going to be the big skyscraper.
Yeah, we're not shown that exactly. That's why I was shown that my guides call them the giant phallic symbols.
They are giant phallic
symbols. The phallic symbols are coming down.
Yeah,
they were showing them to me because Metatron's one of the beings that I work with, and he's actually helping me write a book right now. And so he was actually Mother Earth was calling them phallic symbols, and that they're human containment centers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all they refer to those buildings as human containment centers.
Yeah,
and they're all going to come down. There's going to be green space there instead of all these big buildings.
Well, what I was shown the future over and over again several times, and what I was shown was humans living in like little village communities all over Earth that are very environmentally friendly and blend in with the forest and in the environment, that they're not having to like cut down all the trees in order to build their homes. Your home will be amongst the trees, almost like a tree. The houses will be built within, you'll have all of nature. You won't have to cut stuff down and kill stuff, because everything will be, what's the term? Synergistic or symbiotic. Yeah. And it'll all blend in with the environment. It'll all be environmentally protective and safe, because Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, Terra, as the ETs refer to her, is going to keep healing into the future, just healing and healing and healing. And we're going to be doing that, but it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight.
No, and a lot of it too, we have to restore. The deserts are going to be restored back to green, because that's not, the deserts aren't actually normal.
No, the deserts aren't
land
normal.
Isn't normal. Yeah,
there weren't deserts back 25,000 years ago. The whole Earth was the whole Garden of Eden. Like the whole Earth was Eden. It was all a big green, beautiful green, Earth. And the deserts were created by nuclear stuff and just mass destruction and mass flooding and pole shifting and all kinds of terrible things, meteors hitting the Earth,
and not only that, but a lot of it has come from our farming practices. So
that too
practices actually deplete
turns the soil into
ability to
like
regenerate itself,
sand almost. It just turns
right?
it to dust, like the
Yeah,
dust bowl.
so
Remember the dust bowl?
we have to, right. Yeah. So we have to come up with new farming practices that don't deplete the earth, and that we can actually change the landscape of the planet, but it's got to be up to us. We can't, the problem is that people keep expecting big corporations to do it, and the big corporations do nothing except for
Yawning.
make themselves bigger and more profitable. That
Mhm.
you know, that's they're self-sustaining, or not self-sustaining. They're basically organisms. So
Mhm.
those organizations become self-propagating organisms, and they eat up everything in their path, like a cancer. And they're
Exactly.
not going to fix our issues. They're just going
Right.
to keep figuring out how to make themselves bigger and more powerful.
So I have a question for you. Did you see the news about this big concert where people supposedly stampeded and 8 people died and all of that? It was in Texas. There's a big concert called the
Yeah,
World
I
something.
saw it, but I didn't get into it. I mean, I saw that it was a concert and that it looked like something I would never in a million years go to.
Yeah,
People
it
that
was like
died.
a rap concert, and apparently they were like all trying to, 8 people were trampled, but that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing posts of people who were there who are saying they saw hundreds of bodies, and that everybody's hearts were all stopping, that people were going into seizures and their hearts were stopping, and these were all young people.
Mhm.
And so I asked my team today, what the heck is up with that? And what I was told is all of those kids got that jab. They all got this. And so
Mhm.
they're all getting heart failure. So when they're going to a concert now, anything they do that gets them excited at all in any way, they're going to all be just dropping like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really awful. It makes me kind of sick to even think about it. But yeah, that's what these evil son of a bleeps have done. They're
Mhm.
going to have massive quantities of kiddos just checking out like no tomorrow because of this evil that they've unleashed on the planet.
Right.
So
Right. I know it's going to be like that. It has the ones who have been affected by it are the student athletes.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to really be affected, but also just young people, they're just going to a party, getting excited, or they take some drugs. Like, some of those people might have taken a drug, but that normally wouldn't harm them at all. It would just make them a little high, but because they had this thing,
Mhm.
it kills them. It makes their heart like stop and stuff like that. So that's what's going to wind up happening. Which is really awful. And I'm hoping that they put an end. I keep praying every day. Today I did it again at 11:11 when 11:11 hit, which is a portal time. I sat and prayed for the earth, and I do this every day, and I ask God to please put a stop to this program,
Mhm.
to stop it like now, like stop it. Don't let any of these kids, because now they're talking on the news here, because I don't watch the news, but my husband does, and I overheard it. And they
Mhm.
were talking about giving it to babies next. They're already planning to give it to kids 0 to 6 months or whatever,
Right.
and it's like, and they're already doing trials on little babies with this
Yeah,
thing.
they want to add it to the protocol,
Yeah.
right? They're
So
always looking for one more thing they can add to the protocol.
yeah, so it's terrifying to me that they're murdering off innocent children who have no free will, because these young kids and even teenagers, they don't know. They do whatever their parents and what the news and society tells them to do. So their free will has been completely stolen from them. And I'm not okay with that. I even had an argument with God today. I said, God, if I check out, or when I check out, I'm coming after everybody who allowed this crap to go down on this planet. I'm literally coming for everyone, and I'm going to obliterate them, because I'm not okay with them wiping out innocent children who are having their free will taken. And other spiritual people go, oh, well, they made a choice. Their soul made a choice to have that happen to them. Come on, really? Millions and millions and millions and billions of children all made a decision uniformly to
It's
come
not going to
in
be that
and get
many.
snuffed out.
It's not
It's
going to
like,
be that many.
oh.
When I tuned in and asked, I was told 3 weeks.
Mhm.
They didn't want it to be this many, but people have not been waking up.
Yeah.
The only reason that this is being allowed to go this far is because people have not been waking up.
Right. But the problem is they never show you the truth on the MSM. And as long as that goes on, nobody will ever wake up. It'll just be the same thing until everybody's
I don't know about that. You and I both know that as we were saying a couple of days ago, you start pissing off moms.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. The
right?
moms
And
will rise up and they'll fight back. They won't allow it.
And
They'll
that's
go
what I was
mama bear.
being shown. I was being
Yeah.
shown that back in Mother's Day. I remember when I did a Mother's Day session video on my Spirit Life Sunday on Mother's Day. And what I was being shown is that what this planet needs more than anything else is the mother's heart. And that if it won't take very long, if word gets out and if moms start talking to other moms, it won't matter if it's on mainstream media, because you cannot shut women up.
No.
There is no fury like a
we
woman's
have a gift for the gab too. We have a gift. Yeah, we talk.
And there isn't
hen party
that can stop women from talking. There is no media that can stop women from talking.
Yeah.
And what I was seeing was that's like poking a nest of fire ants. They're poking at a nest that's going to come after them, and they will have blood on their hands. Yep. The only reason it's being allowed to happen is because humanity needs to understand what they're being rescued from.
I just want it to get over with. It's driving me nuts.
I know. I
want it to end.
And it was not intended to go this far. But it has.
Yeah.
So
I never even imagined that they would get it to the point where they were giving it to the children. I really didn't think it would go that far. Like, it's just blowing me away.
It's not in other countries. There are other countries that have already put an end to it.
Yeah. I noticed Japan stopped it. And there's a whole bunch of one of the Scandinavian countries, what was it, Norway or Sweden, or one of them stopped it, or Denmark or Netherlands, one of them stopped it. Whole bunch of different,
and they actually have less of the
outbreak. Yeah, exactly. Well, which I still don't know if there's ever that many to begin with, because they were calling everybody who died by that bug name.
Right.
If you died of a broken finger that got infected, they said you had that bug. If you were in a car
that was
crash,
so profitable, they were getting so much money.
They're getting paid. And they did this worldwide, not just in our country. So all of the numbers of the deaths were all faked. They're all faked. It was probably like 1/1000th lower than what they said. I mean, it was just such a minuscule amount than what they said.
And we know, we saw videos of people who the hospital is saying that's what they died from. It's like, well, no, it's not. I brought my family member in with heartburn, and you're saying that's what they died from. So, and I know people that have had it, but I don't know anybody that's died from it. Although I do know some people who died from it. I do know people who have died from this.
Yeah, I know people who died from this, and I know people who actually died from the other thing. My mother-in-law was one of them. She died from that thing. But I do know that the reason my brother is no longer on the earth plane is because of the big pharma killed him. They killed him. So because of the certain drug that starts with an REM that they give in the hospital, it shuts down all your organs. Yeah. So a very good friend of mine, her family member was killed that way with that thing, and everybody I know who's gone into a hospital and was given that thing either came out in a body bag, or they came out with permanent organ damage from it.
Wow.
So because I think it's kind of a eugenics tool that they're using to get rid of more people, but that's just my belief.
Right. Here's one of the questions though. I mean, this 2/3 will ascend and 1/3 will be left behind. That's something that has been.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Right. Right. So that was in the book of Revelations, right? And then supposedly other people have been saying that. So when I asked about that a couple of weeks ago, because I ask about it every once in a while, and what I was shown is that yes, that is the case, but it's not just humans. That included all the other beings who are
that
here
are on this planet
that don't actually belong here. So it's not just about 1/3 of humanity being left behind. It was 1/3 of life.
What about the ones inside Agartha and inside the inner earth?
Exactly. Yeah. So it was all the malevolent beings being pulled off the
Mhm.
earth, that is included in that number.
Mhm. Yeah, I was told that 33% of all the living beings, meaning not just humans, but
Right.
other beings on this planet, 33% of them would be leaving.
Right.
And that those would all be mostly pretty much the bad ones, or people who are just done here and want to go home, and they had it in their contract to leave. They've chosen to
Yeah,
leave.
and most of them are already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about it. Like, I don't really feel that way. And when I asked Yeshua and I said, what percentage of people are going to actually die from getting this? And he
Mhm.
said only 5%.
Okay.
That's what he
Not too
said.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people will be able to detox from it because
Mhm.
I don't think.
And that's 5% of the people that get it. That's not 5% of the world population.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, again, and
Yeah.
there are people. I have a friend in the hospital right now from it,
Mhm.
and my feeling is she's not going to survive.
Mhm.
So yeah, so my feeling is that the people who have had it, that they'll be able to detox from it.
Have you seen Skye? I forgot her last name. Skye, what's her last name? She's on YouTube, but she supposedly worked in the secret space program, and she worked on the med beds, and she's supposedly opening up a med bed clinic in Australia. She's an Aussie gal. And she goes on and on her, on her YouTube channel about all of the particulars about the med beds, how they work, who's going to be able to use them, all of that kind of stuff. She says the med beds will heal you from this thing. That's what she says.
Yeah,
she says that you can be healed from that.
Yeah.
In the med
yeah.
beds. Yeah. But then other people have said no. Other people have said you can't heal once you get that. You can't be healed because they need your original DNA and blah 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 blah, and that your DNA has been altered, and they need your original DNA blueprint. And she says no. She says that
so.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I both know anything is curable.
Anything can be healed. I believe that. Absolutely. Do you know, before any of this kind of crazy stuff, which we can call woo-woo, conspiracy, whatever we want to say about the whole medbed thing, way before that ever came out, in my life, since I was born, I have seen so many people be miraculously cured from things like end-stage cancer, where one day it was just gone, or like they went in with leukemia and they were given a few weeks to live, and it was miraculously healed and removed from their body. And the doctor said, I've had my own miracles. I had and I mean, I want to share this with everybody so you understand, because I'm personally somebody who had this happen to me. So I had 3 doctors tell me I had ovarian cancer. Okay. I had a big cyst on my ovary. It was really painful. And they scanned me in the ultrasound. And the doctor said, based on the type of cyst it was, because I was postmenopausal, that it was a cancer type of cyst. It had to have been an ovarian cancer because, whatever. And they were going to go and do a biopsy on it and all kinds of icky stuff. And I'm like, no. I'm waiting. I went away and I worked with a shaman who did energy healing on me. And then I'd use some naturopathic remedies. And guess what? A month later or 2 months later, about 2 months later, maybe it was a month later, I went back to get it re-ultrasound after all that work I did. And the doctors, or the ultrasound technician said, I said, oh, so how does it look? How does my ovary look? And she said, I just see a healthy ovary. And I'm like, isn't there any cyst on there? And she said, nope, just a healthy ovary. And I had a big mega sized thing on there that 3 doctors said was most likely ovarian cancer. So, and that was just having a shaman do energy work on me. Okay. So you can, first of all, there's miracles happening every day. God is love, 100% love, and God wants us to be healthy and whole. And I believe in the power of God. I mean, and Archangel Raphael's name means God who heals. I believe in calling in the angels, and especially Archangel Raphael, and working with Master Hilarion, and working with the violet ray and the indigo ray and all that kind of stuff, and the green ray, for healing. And also just naturopathic medicine, homeopathic medicine, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda. There's all this stuff available to us to heal the body. So I have a really hard time believing that all of these things that they're giving people can't be healed. I don't believe that it can't be healed. I believe 100% without any doubt in my mind that there's a cure for that somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether the cure comes from God directly, or it comes from energy from a shaman doing the work on you, like I had done, or it comes from an Arcturian or a med bed or this or that. I mean,
Right.
there's
No,
got to
and
be a cure.
we don't know. We don't know
Mhm.
what's new and what's coming and what's available.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But what
So
I do think is that the more people wind themselves up in fear about it,
mhm.
they're actually propagating the very thing they fear by being so wrapped up in it.
Absolutely.
And I don't know that a lot of people understand how powerful their thoughts are and how powerful their words are. We
Mhm.
actually create the reality by what we think and what we feel and what we speak. And I think again that I'm wondering about television, like how much of this is actually being allowed to swirl around in our conversation so that we actually create it.
Mhm.
So we create what we don't want by talking about it so much and becoming obsessed with the conversation. And I see that as like, I am so overhearing conversations about this
Mhm.
because talking about it isn't going to change anything.
It doesn't make it different. No, not unless we all march into the certain 3-letter organizations and overthrow them and shut the whole thing down.
Unless the actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, we
right?
need to
We talk
either
about it all day long, but we actually have to do something about it.
Yeah, either put boots on the ground and get your rear end out there and do something, or shut the heck up and just move on with your life.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
and hold a loving vibration
Mhm.
with the knowing that we can all be healed from all of the dis-eases that are out there right now.
Yeah, every kind of disease, even the big C, cancer, that one. I mean, it's just like I just believe that there's healing out there for everyone, unless you're somebody who made a contract before you came in that's how you're going out. There are
Right.
people who that's what they chose. They chose to go out, just like my brother chose to go out by the bad guys giving him a specific drug that wiped out his heart and caused him to have 2 heart attacks and leave the,
right. But that's how his soul chose to.
He chose to exit that way. That was his choice. I even already had a medium talk to him for me because I'm not a medium. I don't see ghosts and stuff and talk to them. So I had a medium talk to him, and I know he's really happy and he's doing well. And he made that choice to leave, and it's like, okay. I mean, I still miss him and I'm still grieving, and everything, but at least I know that he's with my parents and the rest of my family, on the other side. So, that gave me some peace of mind.
He wasn't exactly happy here.
No, he wasn't. He was miserable. He had a horrible life. His life has been tortured and traumatic for the last 15 years. So he actually, Claire Candy Howe told me that, or Claire Candy Huff, sorry, her last name's Huff. She told me that that he was in like an angel, like the angel rehab, or what they call the soul rehab, because he was so traumatized, and the way he went out was sudden, and he wasn't expected. He was actually in spirit hospital, and the angels had him wrapped in a blanket, and they were singing to him and soothing him and helping him to recover. And then he's still kind of going through recovery. He's got like a team apparently working with him, and he's still going through recovery, but he was able to have like a conversation with me through my friend who chatted with him. So yeah, just so that was really good. But people need to understand that there's different reasons why people leave for different reasons. Okay, not everybody leaves because they chose to leave that way. Some people leave because they had what I call false contracts, where they were tricked into it. There's some people who are tricked by the dark side, that, oh, you're going to die of this horrible, tragic train crash or this or that, or, whatever. Some people die from that. Some people die because of past life karma. They did something horrible to somebody in a past life and they have to make up for it by, maybe they murdered somebody, so now they're getting murdered, or, that kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people die. Some people die because they made really bad, stupid choices. Like they smoked a pack of cigarettes every day, drank 20 liters of alcohol every day, whatever. They made really bad choices and they ruined their temple of the Holy Spirit. And they chose to do that. They made those choices and they chose and burned out their body. So there's different reasons for everything. Some people are just sick and tired of this hell-like situation we live in. They just can't take it anymore. It's too much for them. And they're like, okay, I'm out of here. So, a lot of reasons why people leave.
Right. So one of the other things we talked about, and we've actually been on here for almost an hour. I'm looking at my little clock down
yeah, almost an hour.
Yeah. Did we want to talk a little bit about hero worship?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Victoria and I were talking earlier about the fact that the third D cabal world was created around this worshiping celebrities, worshiping famous singers and musicians, worshiping sports star, worshiping politicians, whoever it is,
even our ministers.
Worshiping, following our ministers. Like there's these people who have these ministers of these large churches that, like, every word that this person tells you, you're just like, oh, you have to live, like, you live your life for every word that this minister is telling you. They, you have to get all your life direction from them. You can't think for yourself. You can't do anything without this minister or this religious leader. It could be a priest, it could be a rabbi, it could be whatever. They have to tell you how to live your life, and every little word, you just hang on and you just worship them to, like, oh, my minister, oh, they're so awesome, and it's like, seriously, the only person we're supposed to be worshiping is not a person, that is source, Christ, God. And that is why Christ came here, Yeshua came here, to teach every human on this earth to have a personal relationship with, in the Bible it says the Father, but we know that that's not true. It's Father, Mother, God. It's both. And that's what the Essenes were teaching. The Essenes and the original Coptic Christians and the original Cathars all taught Father, Mother, God. They never said Father only. They all said Father, Mother. It was the other guys, the bad ones, who made it all about the patriarchy and stripped away all the divine feminine aspects of religion in general. So the hero worship is ending now. You cannot ascend if you're worshiping a movie star. You cannot ascend if you're worshiping your priest or your preacher or your cult leader. You can't ascend with that. You can't ascend worshiping football players. You can't, it's not going to help. Right. Yeah, politicians too. Like, what about the people who worship, like in China, Mao Zedong or somebody like that? They are chairman, whoever. They worship, or the guy in North Korea. They worship him like a deity or whatever. So as long as humans keep worshiping other humans, you're not going to ascend. You have to stop the celebrity worship and the person worship, and you need to think for yourself. Live your life for yourself, not expect other people to tell you how to live your life and tell your every move, when you can have, sex, when you can eat, how you can eat, how you don't need somebody to tell you all this. You should be able to do it for yourself and think for yourself, and start worshiping the creator and the creation and unconditional love. Worship unconditional love, because that's what God is. God is unconditional love,
Right. Yeah, and I think we're talking about that too, because people keep expecting somebody else. It was that conversation about somebody else to save them, somebody else to tell them what to do, somebody else to rescue them, somebody else to tell them what to think. And that then you have all those people that think that celebrities are going to be resurrected. And it's like, we have to stop thinking that anybody else.
Yeah.
And really what it comes down to is remembering that every one of us has a direct connection with source, and to always look within for the answers to everything. who am I? What am I here to be? How can I best serve? Is this what's best for me? Is this aligned with source? Is this and stop looking to everybody else for answers. And it's actually kind of funny because I know there are, thousands of people watching us. And it's like, we're not here telling you people what to think. All we're doing is having a conversation.
I'm just having a conversation.
Telling you to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, neither one of us are saying that we're the end all be all, and
not at all. Not at all.
I mean, that's why I have that little disclaimer on every one of my videos. That if this doesn't resonate with you, then
move on.
Yeah, it's like we are not saying that anything. We're saying what works for us.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my truth, but it's my truth.
Yeah. But ultimately, every single person has to find the answer inside themselves.
Absolutely. They need to think for themselves. They need to find their own answers, which is what I'm here to teach people, is how do they get the answers for themselves? I mean, that's the majority of the work I do, is teaching people how to get their own answers and empower them, empowerment, teaching them about their sovereignty and empowering them. We are sovereign beings with free will. And I don't expect people to agree with me. I mean, everything I share on my channel is my opinion, my personal beliefs, my personal truth. I don't expect you to like any of it. I don't expect you to love any of it. I mean, if you resonate with it, then that's wonderful. I mean, I'm here to share as a teacher, to teach people, but I'm also still a student and I'm still a human. I'm not important or special, or I'm just like every other human. I'm just here learning, but I'm also here sharing and teaching too. And if you like what I'm teaching, great. If you don't like what I'm teaching, then move on. I don't really freaking care. It's no skin off my back.
But be nice.
I don't care. Yeah, but be nice. You don't have to attack me.
Yeah.
It's like,
if just it doesn't resonate with
if you don't like it.
Right. If it doesn't resonate, then just move on. But be nice about it.
Yeah, because like we said earlier in this chat, the people who are attacking, they're blocking their own ascension, and they're also ruining it for everyone else, because we are a collective and we are all connected. Our energy is all connected. We are all brothers and sisters. And I said that in my Ascension book, that we're chips off of the big ice block of God. If you took a big ice block of God and you took all the chips out, that's all of us. And if you mix it together and melt it together, it's still all God. It's still all part of the same thing. We're all brothers and sisters. And so every time I hurt somebody, I'm actually hurting myself.
Absolutely.
So everything we put into the world, there's what's called the universe boomerang. Everything you put into the field, into the energy field of life and of the universe, it will come right back at you. So if you put in good, you're going to get back good. If you put in garbage, you're going to get back garbage. If you put in being nasty and mean, that's what you're going to get back. Everything that we do. That's why in the Bible, it says for every finger you point, there's 3 back at you.
Right. Yep. So, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, we probably should jump off.
Yeah, it's 9:09.
And because today was daylight savings time.
No, I'm tired. I'm yawning a lot. It's really like 10 o'clock, even though it says 9:09, it's really like 10:09, and I'm tired.
It feels late. Yeah.
I need to go do my evening qigong before I go to sleep. I found out it helps me sleep better when I do either evening yoga or evening qigong. I sleep like a really, really good, like much better.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great to know. Yeah, I'll go do some stretches too before bed. I sleep better if I do some stretching first, for sure.
That's what the yoga I do. I do lower back and hip yoga because I have a messed up. Well, my neck and my back are messed up, but my lower back, there's special like yoga, like stretches and poses that are specific for low back pain. I picked out the ones that are specific for low back and hip pain. And I've been doing those at bedtime. And I noticed that when I do that kind of stuff at bedtime, I fall asleep faster and I sleep a little bit longer, because with the Ascension, my sleep is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So anything I can do to improve it, I try.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great that you found somebody to help with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we should go.
Yeah, we're going to go. Thanks everybody
fun.
for watching. Please like our videos and subscribe to our channel.
Share them with your friends.
If you want to share them with whoever's open to this info. And we love everybody. We love you all.
Right. That's what we do. Love makes the world go round. Let's not forget it.
Yep, exactly. Thank
Okay.
you, Victoria, for
Oh,
chatting
thank
with
you. It's
me
so good to
tonight.
talk to you on camera instead of just
Yeah.
on the
On the
phone like
phone.
we usually do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Bye.